Hi everyone, this is Jen and I am with Sarah and we are at Cherry Blossom Yoga and we are going to do Marichyasana B together. So it's the second of the Marichyasana postures and it requires some work in half lotus and then of course work in the Marichyasana. So let's have you do, let's just do the regular side first. So, go ahead and the left leg will go into a half lotus position. So Sarah does half lotus really well. If half lotus isn't your jam, then you could just do a Marichyasana shape with the left leg. That would work perfectly well for the purposes of Marichyasana too. Remember that we are always trying to work within a range of motion that's safe for you. And it's not really so much what the final posture, if it's, if you're in the full expression of the posture or not, because you can still realize so much benefit with the different steps along the way. And then the right leg will go into the Marichyasana position. So, I think maybe Sarah, go ahead and do that facing the camera. So you'll see what she did is she got into the half lotus, really nice. And then she takes the other leg into Marichyasana, and then look at how she puts the lotus leg down onto the mat. So the lotus leg is part of the foundation for this pose. And as such, it should be on the mat. So she has her knee joint closed and her inner thighs open enough for the leg to drop down. Another thing that you could do if you're not quite able to shift the body weight forward enough for the lotus leg to go down would be to sit on a blanket. So if you do need to sit on a blanket, I would fold it in half a couple of times and sit on the folded edge. And the blanket will tilt the body weight forward slightly and make it a little bit easier for the lotus leg to come down. It's going to lift the butt just a little bit. And again, just kind of make it easier to fold forward. It also really helps with the bind because it does shift your weight into the Marichyasana leg a little bit. And it'll help close the gap between the shoulder and the thigh bone. So from here, now that she has the foundation really nicely put together, when this is awkward for students, what I'll have them do is walk both hands forward. And we're just starting to come into a forward bend here. This is really a great expression of the posture. The hips are already doing so much work. The pelvis is supported by the blanket, and you're getting the benefit of a forward bend here. The only part that's missing right now is the shoulder work. So this is a great way to work Marichyasana while you're working with the balance issues that come up with it. The blanket helps with the balance too, by the way. And then from here, she can perhaps start entertaining the idea of a bind and walking her hands out to the side, and then look at how she comes into the internal rotation here with the right shoulder and wraps it around, and then she's able to find her hands on the back. Eventually, the head goes to the floor, but realistically, a block is a really nice place to put the head until you can fold down, because then you have the support of the block and the head, and you're kind of finishing that mudra of energy, but you don't have to fold so far forward that it starts to strain the back because of all the flexion. So this is a really great way to modify the pose with a blanket and a block. All right, Sarah, come on up. And then let's have you come out of it, and then let's show them the other side too. Okay. So again, just to look at it again, look how she closes her knee and externally rotates the leg. She could stay right here, and that would be a good place for the right leg on the second side, or she can move it into half lotus. So because she has the range of motion, she might as well go for it. But for you, that might not be as appropriate. And then the left leg comes into Marichyasana, and look how she shifted the right leg down to be part of the foundation of the pose. That means that her left hip is floating. So this left hip is hovering off the mat, and I would encourage her to leave it that way. The blanket is going to offer a little bit of stability for the pelvis, and then from here she can fold forward. And she's forward bend here. This is a big squatting motion for the left leg, so it's a great way to get into the hip. And the blanket is giving her a little bit of support to help her make that shift forward. And then she can move into the bind. And she can place her head all the way down onto the mat. And again, if that's too much flexion for you, placing the head onto a block will work too. All right, so that's Marichyasana B, modified with a blanket and a block. And then as you progress through it, you could get rid of both of those props or start to shorten them down so that they're a lesser prop. So thank you, Sarah.
You're welcome.